JMS Flower Farms has been helping grape growers protect their vines from insects and fungal diseases with their exclusive product, JMS Stylet Oil, since 1992. Visit www.styletoil.com today.
Hi, I'm Matthew Malcolm with Pacific Nut Producer Magazine, and here at the annual Statewide Pistachio Day in Visalia, UC Cooperative Extension farm advisors and other industry researchers address pistachio growers on the latest research in pest issues like the Navel Orangeworm, a growing problem in California. David Haviland from the UC Cooperative Extension shared some of the highlights addressed on this subject.
We had an excellent program this afternoon talking about pest management. First speakers this afternoon were all about Navel Orangeworm, which is really the driver for our pest management programs. It's typical for growers to spray pesticides 2, 3, sometimes more than that times a year to make sure that this pest is under good control. Today we just talked about how to go about putting together a program. So talked about monitoring. We've got a couple tools to do that. Egg traps have been the traditional way. They're good early in the season. They can really help us know when things are starting, and we can do some degree day models from those to help time treatments and things later in the season. But also talked a lot about pheromone traps, which is a relatively new technique that traps the adult males. And basically what we're doing there is following patterns in the season of when the males are active. Based on those patterns, we can figure out when the eggs are being laid, when the crop might be getting damaged, and that information is being used to help time treatments. So typically in pistachios, we're treating around the third flight of Navel Orangeworm, which is when the hulls start to split. Well, that's terminology from almonds. We kind of adopt that in pistachios, but it's really when the hulls slip would be a more technical term for that. So talked about that, talked about options of what to spray to be able to control Navel Orangeworm. Brad Higby from Paramount Farming did an excellent job talking about the different options that are there. Also about mating disruption, which is a very new technique where you're using a pheromone from the female to make it so that you're putting so much of it out there that instead of the males being able to find the females from their pheromone, the males just smell pheromone everywhere and can't figure out where it's coming from. And if the males can't find the females and mate, then the female either has no eggs or certainly a lesser number or delayed egg laying period. So that's a great technique. It's been used quite a bit in almonds, but pistachio industry has taken a little longer to get going. And data shown today, from the last couple of years, has shown that this really is a good technique. Still a little pricey, but the first phase of research is figuring out if something will work, and then you sort out the details of how to actually implement it. So we're there, where it's getting implemented and being adopted by more and more people. Excellent new technique. So yeah, kind of focused on that today, and Joel Siegel rounded out the Navel Orangeworm section talking about damage. He's collected tens of thousands of data points from different hullers throughout the state, and he's putting that information together to try and see patterns in how damage occurs, how much damage are there in early loads versus late loads, first shakes versus second shakes, and he talked about those patterns and trying to help people understand the importance of getting your nuts off early, shaking them before the damage occurs, but also realizing that from first shake to second shake, there's about a 4-fold increase in damage. So if you know what you've got in your first shake, you can kind of get an idea of what damage levels you're going to get in your second shake and determine whether or not you're going to have to do something to mitigate that. So I thought it was an excellent program with some excellent speakers. I was really excited to see how it went today. Likewise, after Navel Orangeworm, had several other speakers talking about large bugs and small bugs and diseases. Rounded out a great afternoon session on pest management.
Thank you, David. Learn more about Navel Orangeworm management by reading Pacific Nut Producer Magazine. I'm Matthew Malcolm, CaliforniaAgNet.com.